We're the only ones that don't say the N-word, you know?
How do you guys feel about the N-word? How do you guys feel about Mexicans saying the N-word?
So that's out. That shit's out.
Honestly, hey, no disrespect to the homies up in South Central, because you know you grow up around blacks and shit. But right here, 626, you say the N-word and you didn't grow up around blacks, so you say the N-word, you're a fucking weirdo, homie. Straight up. That shit don't fly, homie. Yeah, you fools are fucking way too influenced and shit on social media. You fools ain't like that.
None of our homies say that in their songs. No one.
This is the SGV, homie.
We don't get down like that.
Hey, besides Pomona, you know, they got blacks, you know, grow up, like, you know, that's them, that's cool, you know, whatever, like, you guys grew up around that, but we didn't, folks. So if you're in the SGV or 626, you're in the 626, fool, saying the N-word, that's out, fool. You're a weirdo, straight up.
Man, this shit I even like that. You gotta be from Texas to understand our culture over here. Mexicans rock with blacks, blacks rock with Mexicans. We all love each other. We came from the same struggle and everything, so you know we rock with each other over here. It ain't nothing more, ain't nothing less. We are a big family over here. Come from the same struggle, so you know we rock with each other. And that's what it is. Some people hate to see that shit, so that's why they don't like with when that shit happens. But Texas is different. We all fuck with each other out here. Okay.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and it's another jackass that just says stuff without any type of historical context. Now, I don't know if that's you know what, actually, let me take that back. I do know. I was actually in Houston for like 6 weeks. I worked at a warehouse. My brother got me a job just until I got my feet planted. Long story short, I never did. That's irrelevant. I did meet a Mexican dude that had actually used the N-word. And on hearing it, it didn't bother me, but I did have to tell him, don't call me that. And Mexicans and the N-word and isn't really like a new phenomenon. I used to live in the West Coast in Seattle, Washington, before Seattle was a gay liberal city. It was gang central back in the 80s and 90s. And I grew up with some Mexicans that did use the N-word. Now I was a young kid, so I didn't have a lot of like frame of reference. And they was kind of like the brown Mexicans, not the white ones. So it actually didn't, as me being a light-skinned black person, it didn't really rub me that bad. As I've gotten older and learned a lot more stuff, and the fact that most people that are Latino, Hispanic descent actually put white on their driver's license or any other government document, it's problematic. Now, I will say just recently, probably a couple years ago, I worked with a Puerto Rican dude. He was fair-skinned, not one of those like Fat Joe-looking motherfuckers. He was more like Big Pun Puerto Rican, kind of a little tan, black hair. He used the N-word. He kind of looked like one of my aunts. It didn't bother me. Not only that, Puerto Ricans actually they like tri-blend, European, Spanish, and African descent. So then there's that. Now, while Mexicans, some of them actually have African genetics, they haven't actually identified as black in over 60 years. Actually, none of them really did, but when they were closer to brown-skinned Mexicans, a lot of them did. Now, these fair-skinned ones like him, there's been so much white and Caucasian and European blend with his bloodline. It would be problematic. As far as him saying that, like, Mexicans and black people get along in Texas socially, but they still don't fucking intermingle like that. I mean, the broke-ass hood ones do. And that's another thing. If you are broke-ass, whatever you are, white, Asian, Mexican, it doesn't kind of count, because being black, the commonality of black people and other people that's this disadvantage is not necessarily poverty. That's not literally the crux of black people. I hate when people like to be like, I grew up poor too. The fuck does that mean? You ain't black, stupid. There's black people that aren't poor. Don't get me wrong, I grew up poor, and a lot of people I do know grew up poor. However, I do know a lot of people also they didn't grow up poor. I live in Atlanta, and while people like to think that Atlanta is this broke ass impoverished southern city, there were a lot of people that I met that lived along Campbellton Road or Sylvan Road or Camp Creek Parkway that actually had a couple dollars. Hell, even on the east side, Stone Mountain, there's a lot of black people as well to do, grew up in 2-parent households. So this notion that just because I'm a broke ass person and you a broke ass person, we the same, we not. Socially, politically, racially, we do not experience the same situation. Now, while Blair are broke ass Mexicans in Houston and parts of Texas, there's a lot of them that are in political power. We stop pretending like these motherfuckers aren't in political seats where they're actually dictating the lives of black and brown and even white people. Stop it. Knock it off. I've been to Houston. I've been to Dallas. I've been to San Antonio. Now, while there are a lot of black people, namely the poor ass ones mixing with poor ass Mexicans, there's a lot of segregated parts of Texas in general. Let's not get it. I was in Houston. My brother lived probably like 15-20 minutes away from the city of Houston in Klein, Texas. There's a lot of broke ass people out in Klein, Texas, Mexican, black and white. They wasn't necessarily in the same neighborhoods. Hell, my brother was dating a Mexican girl, and it was a bunch of in a Mexican community. They used to, every time I go to my car, would look at me like I was something strange because I was me and my brother were the only niggas there. Only because we was light skinned, they didn't really interact with us. They didn't give us no hard problems. So, yeah, like all you Mexicans out there, I'm gonna just put this out there in the ethos. You say nigga around me, I'm socking you out. In any event, if y'all like this episode, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm out.
No.